So if we don't want this cache to live forever, then we probably want to have some sort of cache invalidation strategy or expiration time. So just for the fun of it, let's go ahead and do some expiration time. So what I'm going to do ultimately is I want to have a cache time prop that I pass here and say I want it to cache after 5,000 milliseconds or something like that. So then we can come up here to our Pokemon cache provider, and this is going to accept that cache time. Okay, and then I need to have some sort of side effect that has an interval that removes everything that has expired. So let's first start out by calculating how these things are going to expire. So right inside of our get Pokemon resource, I want to track all of the different resources and their expiration times. So I can find out what their expiration time should be using date.now plus the cache time, and that's when they should expire. So here we're going to need to put the cache time in here, and now we just need to store this expiration time somewhere. And what I'm going to do is we're going to make an expirations React use ref to keep track of all of these expirations. And so then we can say expirations.current at that lower name, and that is the expiration time for that particular resource. Okay, and then we can say React use effect, and inside of this use effect we can make an interval with set interval, and let's just make sure we clean that up. So we'll clear interval whenever this use effect runs again, and let's add our dependency list here. And let's see, our interval, maybe every second we'll go through and check all of the expirations and remove them from the cache if they've expired. So I'm going to make a for of loop. We're going to get the name and the time of the object entries from expirations current. And we do need to spell this correctly, so we'll say expirations. There we go. And so we get the name from the name that we inserted there, and then the time from each entry in our expirations object. Okay, so now we can say if the time is less than date.now, that means that we've passed the time that it was supposed to expire. So that means we can delete it from the cache object at that name. So we'll remove that from the cache entirely. So now if I save this, I can go Pikachu, Charizard, and Mew, and then go back to these, and we can just keep on going to these. But if we wait for 5 seconds, then try to go get Pikachu again, we'll notice that it takes a moment to actually load. So let's try that. Boom. And there we go, get Pikachu. So Pikachu was removed from the cache. We go to Charizard. We can go back to Pikachu and then back to Charizard. Boom. Back and forth between these two until we wait too long. And then those are going to be removed from the cache. And we can avoid ourselves a memory leak or a stale data bug. Ta-da! So in review, now that we have everything inside a React component, we can start doing side effects within the React lifecycle, and we can also pass this cache time to our Pokemon cache provider. So we accept that cache time, we determine when the expiration time for a particular resource will be, we add that to this expirations ref, and then every second we check all of the entries in the expirations object, and we determine whether or not that particular resource should expire. And if it should, then we delete it from the cache object, which means the next time get Pokemon resource is called with that particular Pokemon, there is no resource, so we create a new one. I'll just reiterate one last time that caching is a pretty difficult problem, and you probably shouldn't really apply this specific mechanism for caching in every single situation that you find yourself in. But this kind of gives you an idea of how you might go about caching and cache invalidation or expiration for a typical resource-based type of setup that we have here in our Pokemon app. So hopefully you can translate that to whatever use cases you find yourselves in.